This division and tried is growing amid reports today that after the United Nations Security Council unanimously approved the deal to Secretary of State John Kerry, that was it. They take precedence over Congress. Now, if that is true, it would be news to one Scott Brown, the former Massachusetts Republican senator, who joins us now to react to all of this. All right, Senator, what do you make of all of this? Not only this growing discord about this deal, but the fact that John Kerry is saying, you know, the discord doesn't really matter. The UN has unanimously approved it, or the Security Council has. Shut up. What do you think?
Well, John Kerry's always been a big UN supporter. I don't agree with him. I abide by the United States Constitution and the laws put forth by this country, not by the United Nations. That's number one. Number two, Neil, you and I spoke about 3 or 4 months ago, and I indicated, listen, he's going to do a deal. It's going to be any deal. He needs some type of foreign policy win, and it's going to be a bad deal. Well, guess what? This is a bad deal. And you know what Chuck Schumer and others are going to do? They're going to wait to the very, very end and see how many of their colleagues break until there's enough to actually to override the veto, and then he's going to vote against it so he can save face and say, hey, I protected Israel. This does nothing to protect Israel or our allies or the United States of America. So I'm not sure, and I still haven't quite figured out why the President and John Kerry and the United Nations, well, I know why the United Nations is moving forward. What are we getting out of this deal exactly?
You know, the question also is, why cede that to the UN? Is it your understanding that the Congress vote isn't important because, you know, Secretary Kerry had argued during these negotiations that Congress should get first yay or nay vote on this, and then ceded that demand in the negotiations so that the UN could vote on it, not necessarily eclipsing the role of Congress, but that now going so far as to say you don't even need Congress?
Yeah, I said this a couple of weeks ago, that they would go immediately to the UN, basically undercut the United States Congress. We had 60 days, I thought, to review it and to actually vote on it and actually have hearings on it and make a decision. This is another slap in the face between the administration and Congress, and to the American people, and to the state of Israel. This is a terrible deal, Neil. We are basically giving him a $150 billion prize to go out and export terrorism around the region of the world.
You know what I wondered about, Bob, John Kerry's remarks, and maybe I took them out of context, and if so, shame on me, but I think what I read into that, when the United Nations Security Council voted unanimously for this deal, that kind of superseded Congress, that Congress can go through these motions and argue all at once, but even if it were rejected in Congress, and I guess by extension, you know, was able to override a presidential veto, too little, too late. UN has passed on it, said it's okay. That global body assumes preference over our national body. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I think there is some of a PR game here, Neil, where you have John Kerry basically saying, hey, this deal is now official, so it doesn't matter what Congress does, how you vote.